Hi guys, it's me Lauren Gell and welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to talk and chit chat and hang out with you guys. If you already looked at the title of this video, you know it's a try on. It's a very late Sephora sale try on. I got these products back in April, but with so many life-changing things happening, I just wasn't able to get around to filming and I had to take a break, but I am back. And maybe along the way, I'll kind of discuss what was happening because I don't know if I really did talk to anyone about it, but I was a little bit more upfront and updating everyone over on Instagram, so follow me there than you already know. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in because I have two boxes. So yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow. It really means a lot to me. Let's hop into the video. So I figured I would run through the first couple orders here, and then I also have a little Ulta haul that I did back at the beginning of May for my birthday, and just again never got around to using it. So the first box, I first got a set here. This is the Glow Recipe Plump and Hydrate Duo, where you get a full size of the hyaluronic plum plump hyaluronic cream. I've wanted to try a little bit more from the brand, so this was me diving into it. But this is something that is on my radar to use, and I'm super excited about trying it out. And then also the hyaluronic serum I think will be wonderful in the wintertime. A couple of minis that I got. I have this mini Mizani 25 Miracle Milk leave-in, like a leave-in conditioner. This will come in handy for travel purposes. Another couple of minis that I got was the Olaplex No. 3 Hair Perfector. And then I also have the Laneige Water Bank Blue Hyaluronic Cream Moisturizer. So, again, this will be awesome for travel. And I love these little kind of containers because when I've used up the product that's in it, I kind of use it to decant other products to put in there when I'm traveling. So there is that. I got the Yummy Skin Glow Serum and the Serum Skin Tint. So I love the Glow Serum from Danessa Myricks, but I do want to try the Skin Tint because I'm really into them lately. And then I also got a Colfi Main Match Concealer card. So obviously, again, there's only about one shade that's going to work for me, but still, I've heard a lot of people rave about this, so another one that I'm interested in trying. I got a mini of the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I heard a lot of people talking about this one, and I've seen a lot of raves about it on TikTok, so I picked up a small one to try out. I also got minis of the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush in Virtue, which is like a peachy beige blush. And then I also got the Rare Beauty Positive Light Liquid Illuminizer in Enlighten, which I think is Selena's favorite shade. So I got minis because I don't need a big blush of these because these will last forever, but I am very excited to try this. And I've really been into cream and liquid highlights lately. As far as powders go, I did pick up the Fenty Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighter in the shade Pretty Pearl, so I definitely want to play around with that. And last in this box is the Danessa Myricks Groundworks Blooming Romance palette, which is pomades and powders in one. Okay, so in this box, I did get a sample of the Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Yoha shampoo and conditioner. And then I also got a sample of the Replica by the Fireplace because people love this during the fall. And obviously I'm not going to wear it now, but I like having little fragrances to try out here and there. Now, this is a smaller haul. I picked up the Born This Way Cold Smolder Nudes palette from Too Faced. It was just calling my name because I love a little good cool tone moment, and I absolutely love the Natural Nudes, the original palette. So this one obviously kind of adds to that collection, so I'm super excited about that. And then I got two products from LYS. I have the No Limits Cream Bronzer Sticks. So the brands updated their shade range and they made a lighter shade for fair complexions in the shade Hope. So I'm super excited to try that out because I do love the formula. I have the original lightest shade, which was Motivate, and then the LYS blushes and the higher standard Cream Glow blush stick, and I got the shade Focus, which is described as a warm cinnamon pink because again I'm really into cream blush, and this has a little bit of a glow to it, which I think is going to look really good with a tinted moisturizer. So I picked one of those up as well. And then last but not least, like I said, I did pick up a couple things from Ulta. So the main thing that I picked up, because I had a 20% coupon and I think I had points and something else, I can't remember, but I essentially got this. This is the ABH Beauty Balm Serum Boosted Skin Tint. Again, really into skin tints. And this was kind of like my birthday gift to myself because I'm almost out of my Jason Wu tinted moisturizers, so I wanted to try a different one on the market, so why not pick up one that's, you know, a newer one. And then with that, I got a free product, which was the ABH Lash Sculpt Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara. So yeah, there's a handful of products here. I'm super, super excited. So without further ado, let's just go ahead, hop into a full face. And obviously, I will be using other products with everything here from my collection already. Okay, so I primed my face because I will be going in with this beauty balm in a little bit, but I used a little bit of the Tula Skincare Filter Primer and then a little bit of the Dennis & Meyrick's Yummy Skin Glow Serum and Main Squeeze. I love pairing these together, especially with tinted moisturizer. So that's on my face sinking in. And then I also put a little bit of my Natasha Denona concealer on my eyes to blank out my eyelid. And I cannot wait to go into this. First off, I love this metallic purple like faux leather packaging. I think it's beautiful. And then when you open it, here's what we're looking at to work with. So this is what we're looking at. It's very beautiful, very, very pink, very blushy in comparison to the OG Groundworks palette, which I apologize, mine is messy and gross, but it's well loved. So you see this is obviously your neutrals to kind of carve out the face, and then this is the soft pinks and like rosy tones to enhance the face. So what you need to know about this palette, in case you don't, these larger pans are a pomade texture, and then these smaller pans are actually a powder. And the premise behind this palette is you sculpt the face with the pomades and then you set the face with the powders. And a lot of people just use the powders on the eyes and then the pomades for the rest of the face. I use them interchangeably. My favorite way to use the OG palette is to take the pomades, lay them down, and then set them with the powders. I'm super excited. I will probably not be doing blush with this today because I have obviously a couple other blushes to try. I'm thinking, since I'm not going anywhere, I can play around and do a little bit more for you guys. I did not set my lids because I am going to be using the pomades, but I am going to kind of buff out my creases right now. I think what I want to do is a little bit more warm toned eye look on one eye and then a little bit more softy mauvier tone on the other eye because I've got two different blushes that I want to try out. So I am taking a clean flat brush because I want to do like a wash of color on the lid and then build it from there. I'm going to do the warmer side first and I really want to play with this shade. This is the shade Desire, so I'm going to take the pomade here. That is a very pretty color. I'm loving this muted like peachy tone. This is very in right now. I'm going to take a clean fluffy brush and pick up some more of that shade and just diffuse it in my crease and see what that does. And then I'm curious to see if I can build the pomades on top of each other because I know I can with the Groundworks palette because they're neutral, but I want to see if I can also do that with these pinkier red tones. The one thing that I do find is challenging with this palette is obviously you have to kind of build that color up, but it does lay so beautifully on the lid. I'm going to take this flat brush. It's a little bit smaller in comparison. I think I want to dive into this shade or this shade. I want to try this shade on the outer V. You can see it on the end of my brush. And then I just want to kind of, ooh, okay. I want to lay it down. My goal here is to kind of just really blend them in. I like the pomades because I can go in and kind of mess around with it, also using my finger. And then from here, obviously there are no shimmers, so I think what I'm going to do is leave it matte and then set it with powders because I want this to be a very simple look. So I'm going to wipe the pomade off on my brushes using my Daily Refresh from Sephora, and I just spray a little bit on a rag. This is the best stuff. I love it so much. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of my brushes. So I'm going to stamp it in there Again, there's pigment, and then I'm going to set my lid and look how deep that is. That actually deepened up a lot. I'm gonna take that same fluffy, no, I'm gonna take my fluffy brush and that same peachy shade that's making everything turn out more burnt and run that all over my eyelid. So now I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take a little bit of it compared to the original orange that I used. I'm just gonna stamp that out here. That's actually really pretty. I really like that. Do you see how much my eye pops? I think that's all I'm going to do with this look. I'm actually, well, I say that, but I'm going to go in with a little bit of my face powder and that same fluffy brush. Just pick up a little bit to diffuse it out around my brow bone because it is a little bit heavy-handed up there because I didn't realize how deep that orange powder shade was going to be. And that's fine. Like, I don't have any problems with that. It's just wham bam. Here's one eye. Let me work on the other eye. Okay, so for this other eye, I think I want to do kind of like a halo situation. So I think I really want to play around with like these three. So I'm going to take this darker shade on my outer and inner V, but I'm going to take that same like brush. I've cleaned them off. And I'm going to go in with that like berry. I don't even know what to call it, honestly. I'm going to start with this. Whoa. Start with this first, and I don't care if it's a little sloppy. I'm going to dip back in and get around my lash line, and then I'm going to do the inner portion. I feel like it's deeper out here than in here. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, and I think what I want to do is I'm going to take a mix of like these two pomades, and I'm going to find a different brush actually. I think what I want to do is both of these, kind of run between the two of them to blend in between these two. And like I said, I don't care that the pomades are a little messy because I will go back in with powder. And then I'm going to take that clean fluffy brush and I'm going to do a mix of both of these shades again for my crease. And I have found that you do have to kind of dip back and forth between your shadows and your eye multiple times with these palettes just because of the texture. I kind of like just using this as a basis, and then obviously like I did with the other eye, I go back on top. So I'm going to clean these brushes off, and then I'm going to repeat but with the powders. I think what I want to do is actually use this bright pink here for the center of my lid just to really make it pop a little bit since it is just an all matte eye look. And then I'm going to take my fluffy brush and I'm going to take this powder and this powder like I did with the pomades for my crease and just set the lid. Very easy peasy. That's actually really pretty. I like how muted it is too. Like it's not like over the top, and that's really what I'm into right now. So I'm thriving. Okay, here's two different looks, and then I will come back after I do the rest of my face and then finish up the lower lash line. But right now, I really want to play with this beauty balm from ABH. Okay, so here is the packaging. I got the shade 3, and this is the Serum Boosted Skin Tint. And it says on the back, a tinted solid serum that blends skincare and makeup with 8 potent ingredients for a radiant, smooth complexion. Its silky texture ensures seamless application for a naturally even and glowy finish. Okay, so I will say I did swatch this once upon a time, but it's kind of like a little deodorant stick. And then it's really cute. Oh, here's the other side. It does have the logo on it. And you take its little deodorant cap off and you just roll it on up. So I'm going to swatch this on the back of my hands because I don't know if this is going to be a good shade match, but I think so. Oh yeah, okay. So I don't know. Oh no, it's cracked. Or maybe that's just, oh, it might just be like the lip of the product. Can you see that crack in there? You can kind of see it there. It's also across the top. Weird. So I do also want to see how this blends out. It's very, very creamy, very smooth, and it kind of looks like nothing's there. Woohoo! So I think what I'm going to do is just put it all over my face. It's so weird to think I'm putting like a stick on my face. So I'm going to do 3 on each side, 1 down here, and maybe a little bit on my nose. We'll start there. And then I'm going to take my kabuki brush and just kind of blend it out. We'll try 1 layer, and then maybe I'll try another. Because this is very light coverage. Which isn't a bad thing because in the summertime, I mean, I typically like a matte foundation just because it lasts longer. But honestly, I feel like a matte foundation feels so cakey. I feel like my lighting's better now. I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to turn my overhead light on. I'm gonna try another layer just to see how much it builds up. And obviously, I feel like I probably didn't have to roll it up that much, but here we are. Oh, that's cute. Okay, I have to push it down into the tube. Love that for me. This might be annoying. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the second layer and really blend it in. So it's not as emollient using my brush as I thought it would be, because I kind of have to really manipulate it to go where I want it to go, versus when I was using the warmth of my finger or of my hand. But I definitely can feel it like on my face now that I put the 2 layers on. So here's how we're looking. In a way, as a tinted moisturizer, I feel like it's not that it looks cakey, it feels cakey. It's a little bit, it's not like it's thick, it's a little bit heavier on my face than piling on like like a liquid tinted moisturizer. And my face definitely feels sticky. You can kind of see the product on my hand. Let me go with the back of my sponge and just kind of do what I typically do with my tinted moisturizer and blot it. That feels a lot better. It kind of just got the excess off without taking away too much coverage. So I'm going to stick with it there and let's play with some bronzer. So, okay, moving right along. I'm going to play with bronzer. So the LYS released new shades of their bronzer sticks, and they created a lighter shade that's more neutral for fair skins, and that's the shade Hope. So I already know I like this formula. I am curious to see if it's changed, but here is the newest shade. It's still pretty warm, but it's definitely lighter in comparison to Motivate, which was the original lightest shade. So already you can kind of tell it looks a little bit deeper. You see that difference? They're still warm, but this is definitely a lot lighter on the cheek. Motivate was one that I had to really watch when I was using it because it was a lot deeper and warmer. So I think this is going to be so much more suitable because it is very, very creamy. I'm going to put some on the back of my hand and then go in with my bronzer brush and pick it up and then play with it that way. Because it's still fairly warm, but this looks so much better on my skin. It's so much more flattering than the other one. Okay, I am going to put a little bit more on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to do up here on my temple, over here on the other side, and bring it down into my cheek again. And then I will take some on my nose, and typically I just draw it on my nose, but it's already on the back of my hand, so why waste it? I'm going to take just a little bit, whatever's left over, which isn't really much, down my jawline, just to bronze that up a little bit. And now I want to try this highlighter. This is the Rare Beauty Positive Light Liquid Luminizer in Enlighten. This is the cutest little thing. I will say, in comparison, these look to be the same size, but they're not the same product weight. The blush has 0.11 fluid ounces or 3.2 milliliters. And then the highlighter actually only has 0.09 fluid ounces, which equates to 2.5 milliliters. So though they look the same, they really aren't. So same packaging, but you get more in the blush. And I think that's just because when you're paying for shimmer and pearl, it's going to be more expensive the higher quality you use in your product. So I'm assuming that's probably why. I'm going to stamp a little bit on the back of my hand and just see how it looks. So there it is. Very, very blinding. That's really, really pretty, but it does dry down very soft. So I think I'll be all right putting a stamp or two on my cheek. I'm going to do a little on my nose and then my Cupid's bow, and we'll try that out first. Oh yeah, that is very natural. Very, very natural. Oh, okay. This dries down fast. So now I have just 3 highlight dots on my cheek. That's cute. The glow's there. I just want the spots to go away. That's really pretty. Like, I wasn't expecting too much with it, but it is pretty and very, very soft. And I kind of like the idea of a liquid highlight because it's not going to be as messy. Does that make sense? So I'd say it's a cute little moment. Okay, moving right along. We're going to move on to blush, and obviously I did 2 different looks. So on this side, I'm going to use the LYS blush, and on this side, I'm going to use the Rare Beauty blush in Virtue. And I am familiar with the formula, just not this color. But I wanted something that was going to be a little more peachy, really, really cute for the springtime and summer. And I think this is what I'm looking for. And the reason I got the mini sizes, which is so awesome that they did minis, because the big ones were so big. Oh, I almost thought I didn't put that on the right side. Moment of truth, because I know these are pigmented. Oh, this is pretty. This is perfect for this color and this eye look. Okay, I'm gonna do just a little bit more because I'm a crazy person. And like I said, I'm not going anywhere, so why not just load it up for this video? That's really pretty. I love a good, like, muted peachy tone. And I was afraid that this, because it was described as like a peachy beige, I was afraid this was going to be a little too beige, but it's not. It's the color I have been looking for. Okay, moment of truth. This is the LYS blush, and it's the Higher Standards Cream Glow Blush Stick. So there is shimmer in it. You can kind of tell. Let me just swatch it for you. Oh, that's pigmented. Holy cow. I'm not going to put that on my face directly. This is packing a punch. So I cleaned off my brush. I'm going to take a little bit on my brush and go in with it. The only thing I'm concerned about is that these are too glowy. Oh, that's very glowy. Okay. You can definitely see more of a sheen in comparison to this side. So if I'm wearing this blush, I probably wouldn't do highlighter with it. I think that's the only critique I would have. Let me go in with a little bit more because I'm crazy. But I also want to see how much pigment builds up versus how much sheen. So definitely really good pigment disbursement. There is a lot of shimmer, but it's not like it's glowing to the gods. Because I like a little more muted, demure glow, and then adding highlight to bring out the like highlighted look. Now, between the two, I'm definitely leaning towards the blush on this tone side because it's matte. But this is really pretty, but you can definitely, like, you can see there's still some glow peeking through from the tinted moisturizer. But this is like, there's highlighter there already. So, not the biggest fan of that, but it's not like a complete turn off for me. It's still very, very pretty, and it looks like my cheek is like juicy and plump. The real key is when I set my face. And I'm going to be using my tried and true as of late, which is my PYT powder. I've been loving this. Now, normally I go in with a loose setting powder as well, but I truly don't want to do that today. I want to kind of let the foundation speak for itself. First, I'm going to do concealer, and I'm going to save the Colfi concealer for another day just because I want to give the tinted moisturizer a run for its money, so to speak. So I am going to go in with my Natasha Denona High Glam concealer. And you guys, I have been doing the bare minimum when it comes to concealer. I can't be bothered to go really hard with it. I just want lighter coverage. I really do. And then I'm going to set my face with my powder brush. You can still get that sheen through here. It's still very pretty, but it's more so what I want, which is like that healthy glow. Where this side, you can tell there's more, I don't know, it looks a little bit plumper on this side just from the sheen. However, I will say it emphasizes some texture. So for me, I've got these, they're hereditary because my father has them and I've got them from him, unfortunately. But there's these two little like wrinkles right here. You can kind of see them. I feel like it's more noticeable on this side because of that sheen. You know what I'm talking about? You can see it right here more than this side. Like, it's still here, but this is definitely a little more noticeable. The sheen from this doesn't emphasize, like, skin texture as much as this one random wrinkle that I have on my cheek. I don't hate how it looks. I honestly was a little nervous about the blush, but looks really good. I want to go back in and do my under eyes to finish off the eyes and then try out these mascaras. Okay, so I think for my lower lash line, I'm going to try just the powders and see if there's a stark difference from using them on top of the pomades. Because in the oh, I've got some serious creasing going on. Oh, lovely. Let me try and set it with some more powder. That's weird because I don't typically have this issue with the other palette, the Groundworks palette. That's really concerning because I just started using this. I'm going to go in and use the same powders underneath my eyes just so I can show you how pigmented the powders are just by themselves. Now, you can see that there's more intensity when you lay the pomade on top of the powder on top of the pomade, but there's still some serious vibrancy underneath. Take some more of that peach in my crease again. Like this right here, I could wear all spring and summer because it's just so effortless, you know? Okay, let me do my other eye. Let me just go right on in. And then I always connect right here at the lower part of my V. And then I'm going to use that same fluffy brush, but I've cleaned it off. And I'm going to go in and use the powders of my crease shades. I might, for the fun of it, try these as lip liners and lipstick, because I know you can also do that with it. But I do want to do my mascara because I have two new ones. Why not use one on both sides? So the Tower 28, I guess I will use on the peachy side. I do like this packaging. It's really cute. Use the inner wave of the dual-sided brush to build up volume and longer bristles to lengthen and define. It's one of those like curved ones. I don't have the best of luck with these curves and these kind of bristles, but we'll try it out. So curled side to build volume. Okay, I need a mirror. We'll do one coat and then I'll go in and use another coat to build up length. Although this is giving me a lot of length. Look at that. Wow. I'm gonna try the lower lash line. This is the part I don't like about these curved edges, is trying to do the lower lash. But it's pretty prominent. Okay. I'm gonna give that a second to dry and then I'll go back in. But I do want to also try this one out as well, because I love a good lengthening and volumizing. This packaging is very luxe. This isn't the one that I was expecting, but we'll try it out. Okay, moment of truth. This is a very stiff wand. It does not bend and contort like the other one does. I also have a hair in my way. Love that. So this is the kind of wand that you're likely to jab in your eyeball because it is a very stiff wand. And I feel like I'm having to really go in and make some defining. This side is a little less sporadic than this side, but let's try the lower lash line. So this brush I'm having a hard time with. Like I have to go in and do like this shimmy method to get it to lay down on my lower lash line. Okay, here's one coat of that. And then let me go back in and do this side. And I want to use the rounded wand, or the rounded side of the wand, because I think this side's supposed to build the volume while the other side built length. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. And then I'm gonna do a little shimmy and shake. Wow. Whoa, look at that. Let's try this side again. I will say the stiffness of this I really don't like, but if it produces good lashes, then I can't hate it, right? Oh no, this is giving some length too. I will say it does clump more than this side. I like the way they both look. This side, I will say, there are some that are just longer than others. Oh no, I just clumped those. Yay! Let me grab this brush from Melt. It's like a mascara brush. It's really handy. And I don't know if you can get them anymore, but I love it because it helps me break up my lash clumps. I honestly didn't think these were going to be that great. I will say this is giving a little more spider leg than the other side, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, I'm back. My brows are a little aggressive, I'm not going to lie, but I did do my bronzer and use my old Marc Jacobs bronzer. Again, can't get this anymore. On this cheek, I used the Everlasting blush from KVD and Foxglove. It's just a really pretty muted pink moment. I love it. Use it all the time. And then for this cheek, I did the Bare Minerals bronzer in Kiss of Copper. And the reason I used these is because this side was pretty glowy, so I wanted a matte blush, which is typically how I would do it. And then this side being matte, it allows me to add a... Hey, we're all good. It allows me to add a little more glow to the cheek. So just kind of being practical with the look. However, I want to add more. So I did pick up the last thing for me, which is the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighter in Pretty Pearls. Now this packaging is custom packaging. You can just tell from the way it's designed, the inlay on the inside as well as the divots and just this component is very unique. And this is the highlight. Now, it doesn't look like anything fancy, but I do think it's going to be blinding. So let me just swatch her out for you. Yes, glorious. Now I'm going to try to take a little bit on my brush and lightly pounce it on my cheek, and then maybe kind of try and diffuse it out. And then on this side, I will also do the same. Usually I put my blush on top of my highlighter, but I wanted to give this highlight its glory and give it its own moment, and that's why I decided to put it on last. So very blinding. I do feel like it is a little bit like stuck in its place. Like it's not diffusing like it says it does unless I go really, really hard on it. A little bit goes a long way. Now I just look like a glowy cherub. I feel really cute. Even though these are different looks, they're looks that, for me, add a little pop of something, but they're not over the top. And that's one reason why I really like these palettes. However, this side's not creasing as much, but the peach on this side is still creasing, and I'm very confused. I think I'm going to do lip liner with this and lipstick just for the heck of it. So let me grab an angled brush. I want to do something that kind of goes with both of these looks, so I think for the heck of it, just use these bold colors because we're already here. So I'm going to use this, actually no, I'm going to use this here, the pomade here, for my lip, and then I'll try and line. Ooh, these are the kind of pomades that you can really blur out. That's defined. I like that a lot. Now, for my Cupid's bow, that's the part that I'm kind of worried about. Okay, let me just go back in and try and fill it out. Now that I have a little bit of a shape to it. It's not even, but it's there. And I want to play with this shade because it's just really pretty. Oh, maybe not. Hold on now. I don't know about this. Let me pick it up with my brush. The way that this looks being utilized for Danessa Myricks models, it looks so effortless. But I'm really having to kind of go in. So if you don't like a matte lip, this isn't going to be it. Well, let me just jump into my final thoughts. Because this video is already long enough. Okay, so we've got our finished look. I feel very cute. It feels very spring. Both looks look very springy and they were very easy to accomplish, even though there were a couple hiccups here and there. Let me get this straight out the way. The groundwork, nope, that's not what this is called. The Danessa Myricks Blooming Romance palette. It's a very pretty color story. It's very spring. If you like your pinks and you like your soft looks, this is the one for it. We did do two different eye looks, both matte eye looks where I laid down pomades and then put powders on top. I will say building up the pomades it was about the same as the original Groundworks palette. However, when I laid down the powders on top of these pomades, it definitely muted and deepened up the pomade tones more than how the original Groundworks palette did. So if you are building up shades here, they are true to color in pan, but when you build them on top of each other, that's where you get a little bit of differences. These pomades, now that I'm kind of wearing them, they do feel a little bit drier than the original Groundworks palette. And I don't know if that's just because they have to be for the tones in here or what, but they definitely feel a little bit drier, just a little bit more stiffer than the original palette. I will say I am getting some serious creasing on this eye from these two, especially this pomade. So that's kind of a letdown because this is probably my favorite shade in the palette besides this pink. I'm still going to play with it, try and make it work. I will say blending these shadows all together is just lovely. It's very soft and effortless, as you saw. And that's the beauty of this palette, I think. I'm definitely going to keep playing around with this, but upon first impressions, I'm actually not as in love with it as I was the original. And I think it's just because you have to be in the mood to wear pinks. There is a little bit more stiffness in the pomades than in the original Groundworks neutral palette, but I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. Let me just finish off eyes real quick. So the Anastasia mascara. This is really cute. It doesn't feel drying and like super stiff on the eye, even though the wand was. I'm gonna hold on to this, play around with it. I'm happy it was a freebie, and honestly, I could see myself picking it up again. The Tower 28 one, I really like this. It's really easy. I love how cute the packaging is, and I like the wand. I'm not really into these like curved wands, but this one is really nice because you can see it's flexible, which really comes in handy when you're doing like the small little lashes near your inner corner and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have fun with those. You'll probably see them a handful more times. The ABH Skin Tint Stick. Is that what this is called? Beauty Balm. Shade 3 is a beautiful match for me. I don't see any issues with it compared to my neck. I will say maybe just using this isn't the best match for it. I am curious to see how it pairs with the Luniversal setting powder from Lunar Beauty. This has been a game changer with my Jason Wu one, so I'm curious to see how this looks and sets the beauty balm. However, this was really easy to apply. This was very easy to apply. Had no issues with it. I did have to build it up a little bit more than I thought I would. And then when I built it up, it was a little bit cakey feeling. It didn't look cakey, it just felt a little heavier than building up a regular tinted moisturizer. But blotting it out with a sponge did the trick, so definitely going to keep you updated on it. As for LYS's new bronzer stick, this is the lighter shade. I really like this. So I like the formula, and I think this is a way better match for fairer complexions because I really had to make the original lightest shade work for me. So honestly, I could see myself getting rid of this and just using the bigger or the newest light shade in Hope. So definitely happy that they've expanded their shade range. And as far as the blush goes, this is beautiful. It's a little bit more glowy than I'm used to, but it's not bad. And I think this blush formula and how glowy it is without losing the actual pigment of the blush itself, I think it's going to be even better with my matte foundations this summer. The shade is very, very beautiful. It's a very me tone, and I love it. There's another shade that's more of a peachy tone that I'm curious to try, but this shade is a beautiful everyday pop of color kind of blush. And then the other blush that I love, this Rare Beauty blush, I love the minis. I think they're a great way to go to try out the brand. And you can practically use this up without it going bad and feeling guilty that you spent $20-something. So I really like that. This shade is beautiful. It's that muted peachy tone that I've been looking for. This will probably become a staple of my collection, so just stay tuned for that to happen. And then the highlighter. This is actually not as blinding as I thought it was going to be, and I like it even more for that reason, because I don't want a liquid highlight that I put it on and then I can't put any other glowy products on top of it or underneath it because it's too much. This is that perfect in between. However, it does dry down pretty fast. It kind of dries down faster than the blushes, in my opinion. With that in mind, I'm definitely going to move a little faster when I work with it, but once I put blush and all that other stuff on top, it wasn't that big of a deal, but just something to note. And even though this is a pretty icy shade in the bottle, it's not overly icy for the cheek, because I don't like an icy highlighter. I like a champagne-y ivory highlight. So this being icy but not overdone kind of surprised me, so I like this. And last but not least, the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow highlighters. This, though it doesn't look like it's going to be blinding, it actually is. And it's a really pretty like icy champagne. And the only thing I worry about is how fragile it is, but you can definitely tell it is a baked product. I think it's made in Italy. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Made in Italy. The componentry is really, really pretty. It's very Fenty. It's like Fenty, but elevated. This you're definitely going to see more of. However, the thing that I would be like, hey, I would definitely recommend going out and getting would be the LYS products. Both the bronzer and the blush, because they work really well together and they're great standalone products on their own. Okay, so let's wrap up this video. I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me again. I know we didn't get into anything of why I was gone for a month or what happened, but basically just know that my husband and I, we were going through it, and nothing bad. Like, it wasn't like we separated or anything like that. It was just we got notified of some information about him having to leave for his job. With that, I was able to go with him, and then I wasn't able to go with him. And we found out in January, we were trying to get everything on track, and then out of nowhere, we found out I couldn't go with him. So we were prepping to move and do all these things and get everything in order, and then just for it to go nowhere. So life really hit us, but we are fine. And I am here, and I will be back in present and doing my thing here on YouTube and on my socials. So follow me. My socials will be down below. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook really. Go ahead and follow that stuff, as well as like, subscribe, follow here. Because if you made it to the end of this video, I don't know why you don't just go ahead and follow me. I feel like you've already committed this much. Might as well just click the button. Let's get to 100 followers. That's a very small goal, but it's a goal that means a lot to me. So spread the word that I'm here. And if you like this video, comment down below what products you picked up during the VIB sale or the spring sale. I know it's been a hot minute, but I'm still curious if you've tried any of these products, if you're interested in anything, what you're interested in that's been released. With all of that said and done, I'm gonna hop off, so I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. So, bye.